I'm Meredith with ExtremeTerrain, and welcome to this installment of Customer Builds. Now, this is a series where we showcase different rigs from our customer build pages right here on our site to hopefully give you some ideas or even some inspiration for your ride at home. Now, in this episode, we're going to be catching up with Gary from South Carolina about his built 2008 JK. Now, if you want to see more about Gary's build, including a full breakdown of his mods list, you can check out his page on our site, or for those of you watching right here on YouTube, you can click the link down below. So what do you say we connect with Gary and check out his build? Hey Gary, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, good morning.
I'm really excited to talk about your build. You have a lot of stuff going on. So starting off with the suspension and the foundation of your Wrangler, can you tell me a little bit more about your suspension setup and your wheels and tires?
My wheels are just Jeep rims with the spacer, the back spacer, because they're worried about rubbing. The tires are BF Goodrich 35s. Love the BFGs. They're quiet, but also got really great traction. As far as suspension, I have primarily the Skyjacker 2.5-inch lift and running the M90 monotube shocks, which are really great for the trail. My Jeep is also a daily driver, so I'm driving it all the time. So I like the road. I like driving on the road, nice and smooth. I blew through my stock drive shafts. I replaced those with the Adams high performance drive shafts, which are much stronger. The U-joints are much stronger, much more capable. I feel much more confident in what they can do.
And what adjustable control arms do you have on there?
I went with the Super Lift. I love the fact that they're tough. Now I have the same setup on the rear, which again allowed me to improve my pinion angle.
It sounds like you go off-road a lot, which is something that I love to hear. Do you have any armor or any protection underneath that is going to kind of save you while you're out on the trail?
Front differential, the oil pan, and the gas tank all have new skid plates. Feel much more confident now when I hit the trails this year.
Now, starting with the rear, can you tell me a little bit about your setup back there as far as your armor, your lighting, and even some performance mods go?
One of the big things I changed was my tire carrier. I went with the Mo Rider hinge improvement set, and it makes just a hinge a lot stronger. And then I went with the Mo Rider tire carrier. Now you can use those independently of each other, but also use them together makes it much stronger. And the fact that this replaces the stock hinges, now the door closes perfectly, smoothly, quietly, and it holds that spare tire no problem. Probably one of my favorite parts I put on the Jeep.
So a lot of people pair the spare tire carrier with a bumper. Obviously you went with a body mounted or tailgate mounted spare tire carrier. Do you have any aftermarket rear bumper accessories or rear bumper added to your Jeep?
I did go with a nice black powder-coated rear bumper. Gives me a little more room for the back spare tire. Also gives me nice attachment points for lights.
Do you have any lighting upgrades besides the rear LED lights in the back on the rear of your Jeep?
Well, I have the 3-inch Raxiom. I had 2 on the front, and I put 2 more on the front, just because they're such great lights. These are not an expensive light, and they're so durable and so bright. They're just a really great white light, great spread. So I'm very happy with those on the front and the back.
Now, as far as like stock lighting, do you have any upgraded stock lighting, like taillights or headlights?
I have the Rugged Ridge LED lights. They've been on there for about a year. Haven't had a single problem with them. Nice, bright red lights. Very easy to install. I mean, it's 2 screws and a plug. Also got the Daylighter protection headlights, which I'm very happy with. And they're a nice white light. There's 2 focal planes per light. First it shines straight down the road, and then it has lights that branch out to the sides that really light up the side of the road.
You've got a couple other things on the front as far as armor and accessories. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, a winch. It's the Rough Country 9500 winch, which I'm very happy with. It performs great. I have pulled other Jeeps out. A few weeks ago, I pulled a Mustang out of the ditch. I've even used it for landscaping. Yeah, I love the synthetic line. It's strong, it's durable, easy to clean.
Now, as far as what it's mounted on, do you have anything up front as far as armor is concerned?
I do have an aftermarket steel bumper. I have a black powder coat bumper, a lot heavier than the stock bumper. Underneath that, I do have the front flat skid plate straight under the bumper, and it completely protects all that stuff under the undercarriage, goes right up to your front differential, and now I have the skid plate on the front differential. That's one solid piece of armor.
You also have the hood. Is that a factory hood?
Nope, that is the Rubicon 10th anniversary vented hood. I like things that look good, but I like things that are functional. Those vents are functional vents, and it allows the heat to escape straight out of the top of the hood. Also, where the vents are, all it takes is the slightest breeze to blow across those vents, and it also draws the hot air out of the hood. And it's made a big difference. And it looks great.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good, and I really like the green accenting that you have like all over the Jeep. It's your own personal touch, and I do really like it a lot. Do you have any performance mods as far as like intake, exhaust?
Well, with y'all's help, I've actually replaced my tire exhausts. Replaced the pipes, the catalytic converters, and I went with a rear muffler. Initially, it wasn't for the sound. It does sound really good, but I went with it because it has a small footprint. It's a third the size of the stock muffler, so I have no problem with me hitting anything with it. I have hit things on my stock muffler.
So it really does sound good, and it sounds like it's working out well for you.
Yeah, and it's super easy to install. The old one's a little tough to get out just because of some rust and things like that. The new one installed, I mean, it snapped into the suspension parts and a couple hose clamps, and it was done. So
we covered really everything on the outside, underneath, wheels and tires. What do you have going on in the interior?
One of the very first things I ever bought, the DV8 dash-mounted tray. That thing, I don't know, it's just the way it's designed. I drop my sunglasses on that thing all the time. Doors off, driving on the highway 80 miles an hour. They've never budged. They've never gone anywhere.
Do you have anything inside that is related to performance?
The Super Chips, yeah, the Super Chips reader it's a reader, and has some modifications to the engine. If you do have a heavier winch, it'll increase your idle to give you more voltage to run the winch. It helps change gear ratios in your transmission. There is a mod to give you a little more horsepower, and I did that, and I noticed it.
Do you have any other plans? What's next on the list when it comes to building your Jeep? Do you have any thing that's going to support a different mod, or are you looking to do something completely different?
I am looking for probably a different front bumper. I have a full width now. I'm probably going a little bit narrower just because I've gotten rid of my front fenders, but it's getting really close. But we got a whole nother season of off-roading coming up, and I'm gonna go off-roading, and I'm gonna see something that isn't working quite right or isn't working as good as I want it to, and that's when you start doing research and start making changes.
All right, well, I think we covered everything. It was so good talking to you about your Jeep and learning more about your Jeep. It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much.
So that's going to do it for this installment of Customer Built. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content, product, and install videos, and always keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.